Hey, thanks for tuning in to That Husband Podcast with me, Black Newborn. On today's episode, we have the privilege of being joined by Justice Mukheli. This is really an episode that is packed. It's an episode that has a lot in it. But to break it down, we speak about emotional intelligence for men. We speak about vulnerability. We speak about the peace that men need to come to for themselves before they even think about what that peace means for those that they live with, for their wives, for their children, and society at large. So this is an episode that I think you will watch, pause at certain times, just to reflect on what is being said when you think about your own life. I would even say don't watch this episode alone. If you have a spouse, sit down with them. If you have friends that you are close with and you guys are talking about some of these things that are going to come out here, sit down with them and reflect together. All of this on today's episode. Hey, what's up? Welcome to That Husband Podcast with me, Black Newborn. Here we are husbands who aren't where we want to be, but certainly are not where we used to be. We are imperfect, always failing forward, trying to know better so that we can do better. Hey, what's up? Welcome to That Husband Podcast with me, Black Newborn. This is where husbands try to know better so that we can do better. Before we get into this episode, thank you again for all the support that you've been showing us. Thank you for buying us coffee. If you're wondering what that is about, there's a link in our comment section where you could click and buy as many coffees as you want, especially if you found any value and any encouragement and any blessing from this content that we are making. And then secondly, if you're looking for somebody to be an MC, a host for your event, please consider booking me. And that's at booking@blacknewborn.com. That's booking@blacknewborn.com. The husband that's sitting across the table from me today is none other than Justice. Again, exotic surname. He's gonna tell us. Mukheli.
Yeah,
brother.
How are you?
Good in you, man.
I'm good, thanks.
Good,
for having me here.
Yeah.
I mean, your wife was here earlier, and we've been yapping, and she said this conversation might be me interviewing
Sure.
you. So, audience, if that happens, forgive. I'm a curious guy, and
That's cool,
I'd
man.
like to know more about you. So,
Yeah. No, it's good, man. I always say podcasts are not interviews, man. They chats around the braai or around coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it, man.
Cool,
But before we jump into it, we compiling this resource. We're trying to create a free book that we're going to give to guys who are walking alone, who don't have the privilege of having other husbands around them to encourage them. And there's other guys as well who just don't want to get married because they fear marriage. One, maybe they don't have role models around, or they've just had bad experiences and seeing broken marriages, broken families. And so they just thinking this marriage thing is not for them. So we compile names and stories of husbands who are not superheroes, guys who are failing forward, who are trying, who fall on their faces but get up. And how do we get those names in? We ask our guests to give us two names of guys who either inspired you to get married or who inspire you to stay married now.
Yeah. Two names.
Yeah.
It's such a tough thing, man. And I think instinctively I want to say as a black man, it's hard to have a married role model.
Yeah.
But I also don't like narrowing things down to race.
Sure.
But for me, the time I spent with my mom and dad married was incredible.
Sure.
And unfortunately, they separated. My dad left. But the time we spent with him till I was 12 was everything I'd love to give my family one day. And that was for some time a benchmark for me to meet. And through grace and intentionality, not let my partner down and leave.
Sure.
Like my dad left.
Yeah.
Then my father-in-law is a great role model.
Sure.
As a married guy, he's a great role model. He's an incredible mentor.
Sure.
He's an incredible friend.
Yeah.
And a father I've wished for.
Sure.
when my father left. So yeah, he's a name that I would 100% put forward as a man that
Still, man.
Makes me want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And being in this contract of love.
Yeah.
And respect.
Sure.
Yeah. My father-in-law is boss.
You guys love cars with your father-in-law?
He loves cars, but I think his children make it hard for him.
Does that include you now?
Never. I think I'm an enabler, but to a point.
Sure.
Yeah, my man loves cars.
Yeah.
But I think he loves his family way more than cars.
Stuff.
Which is an important thing and a good example for me.
Sure.
So yeah, he loves cars. I love cars too so much. And I think he loves cars as much as I do. I just have a little bit of blessing of time and age. I'm younger.
Sure.
So I can make those mistakes. So someone his age, I don't know, when your life is headed towards retirement, you can't be faffing around with passion project cars or buying the latest Porsche and all that stuff. But he does love cars, and I enjoy every car conversation with him.
Sure.
And it gives me insights.
Still, man.
I remember first time chatting to him, and I realized that my man loves cars.
Yeah.
You know, he was telling me about his first car, or one of his cars when he was a student, and it was a BMW 2002. Fana. I was blown away. And he loved that car, and so many stories around it. So, yeah, he loves cars. Yeah.
You have an interesting car story. You bought a Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
And you sort of regretted buying that Mini Cooper.
Vana, you know
I think it speaks to the importance of mentors.
Vana, mentorship is the most incredible thing one can get for themselves or seek as a young man or a young human, young person. I remember I've got an incredible mentor. I've got a few mentors, but I've got an incredible mentor from the youngest age of maybe 18, Neo Mashiko. And he came into our lives in the most beautiful way. And he's always been that voice of reason. And he's always been that person that gives us insight based on his lived experiences. And I remember him saying, "Gents, nina golf lane lihle. You don't have to go finance a car." You know? But, not to make an excuse for myself, because I was a young guy from the hood. I'm getting a little bit of money. I've never even dreamt of being where I was at that time. Even the prospects of walking into BMW and look at a JCW Mini Coupe and say, that could be mine, was never a dream that I had. And I was there. Then I went there and I inquired, and the numbers were numbering and it was making sense, but not really. Then I walked away there with a deal of this JCW Mini Cooper or whatever at the time, 2012 or whatever. And I was excited. I remember it was a Friday, and they said I'll collect on Monday. And I was hounding them the whole weekend. He said, "Really? Is this blah, blah, blah." Anyway, then Monday I pick up my car. And 2 months in, I had a rude awakening then that I shouldn't have. Because not everything you can afford, not everything you can buy, you can afford. I could buy it, but I couldn't afford it. My brother and I had a place in Benmore. We could pay the rent, but we couldn't afford it.
There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. And as a young person, that's where mentorship kicks in. And I recall Neo saying, "You don't have to buy a car. You guys can share the car that you have." It was a cash car, Golf. Then we had a Fiesta. It was a cash car. You don't have to buy a car, a status thing. Buy an apartment together. But to me, what made more sense in that time is having a car that's a panty dropper. as we are young men.
Sure.
So, but it was a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah.
Not everything you can buy, you can afford. And, that 5 years of financing that car and that balloon payment and this, you get home.
We drive
I hate it. I hate it. It spoiled my dream.
Sure.
Because I got it at the wrong time.
Damn.
And as young people, we make those mistakes trying to please people that don't even know us. We don't even know them. You are chasing that validation from someone that doesn't even know you.
Yeah. And then?
But month end, bank account So, man, that was a big lesson for me to learn. And I learned it. I learned it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Sheesh.
I learned it. I didn't make that mistake again. This time, this side of life, I'm still faced by what looks like opportunities, and it's not an opportunity. It's something that's gonna set me up to fail again. We are a bit older. Money is a bit different in a better way.
Yeah.
So even the taste levels go up.
They do.
They go up. There's a car I want a whatever car, and it's 3 million. I've got a wife. We're building a family.
Sure.
I've got dreams beyond being in a 3 million rand car.
Sure.
But our ego and what do they call that thing when instant gratification?
Yes.
Fine, I want to go there and get that G63 2020.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Now.
I want to get it now. I can get it. Mara borders.
Yeah.
Bank account. And some people would justify it, Ngoguti. If you make a decision like that, it will make you work harder.
Hey.
I don't want to work harder from an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing for me.
100. Yeah.
I've been uncomfortable all my life.
Yes.
Growing up Ekasi to a single mom.
Sure.
We were even below middle class, and I'm aware of that now. I mean, life was beautiful. I never had the taste I've got. I never knew that there's Crawford, there's Cares, there's St. John's, and all those fancy. I never knew those things. So I'm not gonna walk myself back to that discomfort willingly. Do I want a G63 2020 model 2023? Damn right. Nakusasa ngailanda. But at what cost?
At what cost, man?
So
at what cost? I always tell guys who are aspiring to be artists, or are artists. I think aspiring to be an artist is such a strange thing. If you're an artist, you're an artist.
You must be.
But I always say to them, man, like, because I think the thing with art sometimes is how do you balance creating art and making a living, And I'm like, man, hungry artists tend to make bad art,
Fana. that what you are saying is such a sensitive thing for the creative community.
Yeah.
But I think all of it, we can humbly say it's an opinion. It's our opinions.
Sure.
I mean, I'm of the belief that as an artist, I need to secure my living.
Yes.
So that I can pursue my art from a comfortable position.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna go into the studio to make a painting from a place of desperately needing to sell it, my relationship with that work is different, So I agree with you, but I don't think it's the popular opinion.
Yeah.
I think, for me, I've got a job, bro.
Sure.
I've got jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm an artist.
Yes.
And my jobs may look like, he's still making art as a film director, still making art as a photographer.
Sure.
All my other side projects. But it's still work,
Yeah.
Like anything that's within an industry has ways of participating. It's never free reign. You know, even art itself is an industry.
Yes.
It's never, in my opinion, I've never seen it as a place where I can do as I please.
Yes, yes.
Because it has rules and regulations and how it works, even though they are quietly spoken. You know, so yeah, when I'm pursuing my career as a painter, I'm fana, that bag is needed.
Yeah.
So that when I'm busy there, the bank account is
great.
it's comfortable. You know, I'm not desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That becomes hard, man. Especially for us as Buyekas.
Yeah.
You know, where I was telling you earlier, when we got to school, first year.
Yeah.
Like we were in class with kids who've been holding cameras since they were 5.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
When it's your first time, you know, you don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, at that level, then you wanna start living like those kids.
Yes.
You know, and I'm like, it's like our pockets are not the same, Joe. Like ibamba my camera from 5. So I'm not gonna leave now and start behaving and acting as though I have the same pockets. I might have to be a waiter.
Yes.
And then in the evenings of annual shoots at you.
Yes. I like what you're saying, because I find a lot of us forget our place.
Sure.
You know, and again, it's an opinion, because someone's outlook to how their life should be will be different to mine.
100.
You know, Nami, I found myself in a position of I'm working in advertising. I never studied advertising at all, you know.
Yeah.
And I encountered peers and friends that come from different backgrounds from me.
Sure.
I had no idea what advertising was.
Sure.
Let alone the film industry.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're there and you are with homies that went to after AAA, the schools, Vega, all those schools, some VET, some TUT, whatever, you know, they grew up in the north.
Yeah.
You know, their realities are different. So for me, I've always been aware of my position. You know, I didn't want to behave like I am privileged.
Sure.
Even my peers in that pool of people and friends I was working with, not all of them are privileged. But maybe from my point of view, I felt like, yo, 100,000. There was no way my mom could pay that.
Sure.
You know, so I always reminded myself of my position. Even now in my life, I always need to remember my position. I don't come from money.
Yeah.
You know, if there will be generational wealth, it's going to come from me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't come from that. So I can't move like I've got backup.
Sure.
I don't have backup. That's why even my dream car, a G63, the fact that I can buy it, that doesn't mean I can afford it.
Sure.
Imagine I buy that thing and I'm paying it over 5 years, right? If you pay that thing over 5 years, I'm going to pay close to 6 million.
6, yeah. Sure.
Vana, that's a home for my mom.
Yep.
That's a home for me.
Yep.
That's a holiday home.
Yep.
That's
a couple of other cars you could have bought in J.
Yeah. Vana, not even. Like that's so much more than that money can set me up to have my own little generational wealth to back me up.
Sure.
For me to be at the studio and paint what I like. For me to decide that, no, man, I need to, December, I'm going away from mid-November.
Sure.
I'll be back end of Jan.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhere there in the mountains making my art, you know, with my wife, with my brother, with our family.
It's dope, man.
And life is so fruitful.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And all it takes is to rewire my relationship with my dream and my assumed affordability. And say, okay, cool, this is my assumed affordability. What if I aggressively take that money that I think I can afford a G63 with and put it away a month, like 150K, and put it away a month and in a year, I've got X amount of money.
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'm going away for 2.5 months. Can bring my brother with. My wife is there. There she is. My mom. You know.
Still, bro.
Yeah. So for me, that's how I balance it.
It's a value thing.
Yeah, it's a value thing. But each to their own. We all
100%.
have our own opinions in looking at the things we want. Yeah. But I do have moments of weakness.
No, 100.
Where I'm at Mercedes-Benz servicing my car, and there's that thing, guys.
With that doesn't
ego ingibambe mfana ngithi angayenza lento le. Iyenzeka lento le. Then I'm thinking, here's the other part that's beautiful. Having a wife saved me. Because she helps me hold myself accountable. Especially where my shortcomings kick in.
Yeah. Dope.
Like my ego. Mfana, if I didn't have my wife, mfana, I'd be rolling on that car, mfana.
No, niyakuzwa cha.
Kahle nje.
Yeah, easy.
I'd have a much cheaper house.
Easy.
Maybe a 2-bed.
Yeah.
I am mfana ngiyilahla imali lapha.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
After the period of paying it off, like 5 years or 6 years, whatever deal you've got, there's another best thing.
That's there, yeah, exactly.
Now I want a Bentley.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm chasing a dragon.
Sure.
So,
basically.
So for me, having my wife helped me ground me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes she doesn't even have to say. Sometimes I'm thinking, mfana yazi le mpilo engiyifoja nalo muntu ngiyasikhosta.
Yeah.
If ngiyenza lento le, because mfana, many times when I'm at Mac servicing my car, mfana, there's that thing. Then I asked this, and at Sentin, my homie works there. Then he's gonna come here. Fana, the numbers are working out. Do this thing. No, we can, bring your car. We minus here. And Fana. And this thing is making sense. All I'm thinking is, I'll go home and, my love, they gave me this thing.
Yeah.
No, it's an endorsement. Blah 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 blah. Yo.
Nah.
Then sengihleli so nomntana abantu.
Yeah.
5 years ngihleli so.
The game is different. Yeah. The game is different.
No, I do love that car. Sure. I love it, but I'm young, man.
Come on,
there's gonna be a time for it.
Yeah.
Not now.
That's dope, bro. That's dope.
Yeah.
Bro, part of why, not even parts, I think even as we chat now, and before we started rolling cameras, there's a lot of similarities between us.
Yeah.
And I would know that because this is the first time we meet. Right?
Yeah.
But that's a large part of why I wanted to get you here. You know?
Thank you, man.
So one, both saved by hip hop.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
If I wasn't married, at least you'd have a G63. I'd be homeless. I'd be broke and homeless, right?
Yeah.
I'm the type of dude who doesn't want to just spend money on myself.
Yeah. You're a giver.
Yeah, I'd be homeless, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Third thing, your pops left when you were 12.
Yeah.
Mine left when I was 15.
Damn, man.
Both grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
Both artists. I used to paint.
Yeah.
You paint.
You need to come back.
Yeah. You used to produce.
Yeah.
I used to produce.
Yeah.
And obviously I did music for 10 years.
Yeah.
You sold computers.
Yes.
Yeah, too.
Very much.
Yeah. I sold computers.
Oh, man.
You sold mixtapes.
Very much.
Yeah. So I was like, man, there's just a lot of similarities, bro.
So much, man.
Yeah.
And I felt it when I walked in here and we started speaking, and I'm like, damn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nah. And I think coupled with all of that was just how vocal you've been online. Just about like men's mental health, emotional stability, emotional intelligence, vulnerability, etc., right? And I was just like, man, we have to sit down, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man.
We have to sit down and chop it up, bro. You know.
Yeah.
So maybe we could start here because again, there's a lot of things that we can unpack. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's a statement you made, right? That your relationship is sacred, not secret.
Yes.
What does that mean?
My relationship is for me.
Sure.
It's not for me. My relationship with it is not for me to parade it to the world.
Yes.
To say, look at us.
Yes.
We're so in love. Look at us.
Yeah.
Happy family.
Sure.
Because I've felt, in my opinion, parading my relationship takes me away from the relationship. It makes the relationship about what people see us as.
Sure.
And the focus becomes how we need to be to look like we are in love, rather than being in love. You know, that's for me. So, yeah, my relationship is very much my own. And we're together 13 years, 12, 13. And it's been beautiful.
Sure.
Because our relationship is our own.
It's dope, man.
You know, I've never felt any pressure to be a certain way.
Sure.
You know, or, you know, to role play. You know, because I've seen, you know, I'm not a young guy. I've been in different relationships where there was huge role playing.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
I'm playing the character of a boyfriend that's in love than being in love.
Sure.
You know, I'm playing the role of a character of this boyfriend that's so caring and we are better, it does all this, you know. And that, to me, took me away from the relationship than allow me to be in it.
Sure.
You know, and yeah, I think my relationship and our marriage has been thriving the way it has because it's sacred. It's for us.
It's dope, bro.
You know, our challenges are our challenges.
Sure.
When we're going through stuff, I don't need to role play a happy couple.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
when it's challenging, it's challenging. Then we look at that
It's dope, man.
as a challenging moment in our relationship than think about what it's going to look like. You know, like I remember when I was younger, in my early days of social media, I had this girlfriend and we were very much a social media relationship. And when things don't go the way they should, my worry was not about the relationship. My worry was about what people will say.
The brand you've created.
Yeah, because now, and imagine, that's taking you away
Sheesh, bro.
from your relationship.
Yeah.
I don't care about the thing we need to deal with. I care about, we need to solve this thing so that we look good.
Yeah.
You know,
It's about
like
the PR,
in a week, if I'm not posting her,
Sheesh.
you know, and now it hurts. It hits different that, oh, damn, man, we're not seeing eye to eye, you know, or we are not seeing eye to eye, but here we are.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why my relationship is sacred.
Yeah.
Not a secret.
Not a secret.
Because I don't want it to be for people. I want it to be for me. And it's been beautiful that way for me. And lucky my partner and I share the same sentiment in how we are, in being in our relationship, being in our marriage. You know,
Sure. How did you guys meet?
So beautiful.
Yeah.
My brother and I and Vuyo used to have a collective, I See a Different You.
Yeah.
And we became successful internationally first before here.
Sure.
So we had our first exhibition in Japan and it toured Europe. Then we came back. When we came back after, I think, a year or something of doing fun stuff in the world, the company my wife was working for was responsible to put together a homecoming exhibition for us at Museum of Arts and Design at that time. So she was one of the curators for the show. So at that time, our body of work, which was photography, featured one of my cars, which was a vintage Mercedes-Benz. It was a character in our work. So in the exhibition,
was that your car?
Yeah, that was my car. I've always loved vintage cars.
There's a picture you took in Sekraundi.
Yes. Yeah, that's my car. Grasshopper eyes. I love cars, as we've said.
I've told people in my close circles that if you see me drive a Merc, because that's me. I'd probably blow all that money on Mercs, bro.
Yeah, no, Merc is my favorite brand.
Sheesh.
So I drove that car to the museum, and she was receiving it. And my wife is very different as a person. So at hello, she got my attention. You know, the way she said it, her enunciation, her aura. And her use of language was so foreign to me. I've never experienced that. Then when she greeted me, I obviously greeted back, and I said, "Where are you from? Who are you? What's your story?" Anyway, then I handed over my car, and we had a small chat. And I was speaking to her on WhatsApp to coordinate the delivery of the car. Then anyway, I drove home. Then I remember WhatsApping her because I was so intrigued by just who she was. Then I asked her, where are you from? Who are you? What's your story? And she said to me she lives in West Dean. And West Dean to me is a weird neighborhood for the type of person that I assumed her to be. West Dean? My best friend lives in West Dean. West Dean? Why West Dean? Then she's like, no, she loves that there's a beautiful community there, and it's not isolated. There's the spirit of people who know each other. You know, just like us, Nasekas. You know, so it was a community like that she was interested in. Then when she was explaining, she said to me, "You must come by. We'll go for a walk." Obviously, I know West Dean. I'm like, good shot. You know, and
some of the things I want to forget in my life, I did at West Dean, man.
But you were at after, so students lived in West Dean.
There's things where I'm like,
that chapter must close.
Yes, burn that thing.
So I mean, I went for a walk with her. I remember I was starting out to be like an influencer. You know, and a brand offered me like shaving clippers or whatever, rechargeable ones. I don't remember, 2012. Anyway, so I went to a house in my Mini Cooper. I get in there, and she's not fazed by this thing. Anyway, then we go for a walk. Then I asked her to drive with me to go pick up this thing that I got given. Then we drove, and it started raining and whatever. And I had the heater on there. It was too hot. Then she needed to vomit. Then she started vomiting. But anyway, fast forward. But I put a jacket over her head. Anyway, after that day, I was loosely seeing someone. I was single. I just went through a breakup, so I was seeing people. Then I remember communicating to all of them that, guys, I sing him Nandi. And I hadn't asked her out. Then, then I closed those chapters. And we started our journey together. And man, it's been beautiful. She's an incredible teacher in her way. She's an incredible friend. Man, I learned so much to date from her. You know, I learned so much from her in terms of dealing with my own issues. As a man, like my traumas, you know, our involuntarily inherited ways of being, that even to date is still, I'm still working on them, you know, I'm not a perfect human being. I still make mistakes, bad ones. And, you know, she just made me feel okay with being not okay. You know?
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
You spent 12 years with her.
Yeah.
And she's definitely, like you just said now, brought things out of you.
Yeah.
Let's walk us through how that has looked like. Again, you're very vocal about, dudes being vulnerable, men being soft.
Yeah.
Us. It's working on our emotional intelligence and being aware of who we are holistically.
Yeah.
No,
because being a tough guy does not work, man.
Yeah.
Like, I must say, I remember I had my journey in my self-discovery started with my first girlfriend, Lirato. And before Ulirato, I was such a macho guy. I was a kasi guy, hard, wundras. I handle queenie lagezo.
Smiley.
And I never used to smile. Literally, I never used to smile. And I remember when I started dating Ulirato, she said to me, the person that you want to be, you are not. You're such a sweet guy.
Sheesh.
You're such a sweet person, and you are so beautiful when you are smiling.
Yes.
And I'm like, and she would reinforce those things that, I don't need to be tough. I don't need to. I'm actually a gentle person. I'm actually sweet. I'm actually attentive. I'm actually not aggressive.
Yeah.
Why? Where do you get this? Yeah, where do you get this?
Yeah.
So she would challenge me. Anyway, then I progressed in life. We moved on, dated other people. It was tough. It was good. It made me an extreme bad person. It challenged me. Those highs and lows of relationships will test you, bro.
Sure. Yeah.
Then I met my wife, and she was, an amazing experience. And I remember saying to her, we were hanging out at her house. She lived with her brother, who is my good friend.
Sure.
Imagine I'm dating this person, and I'm close friends with her brother.
Sure.
Right? Mina ngithi kuye, love, imagine my sister's boyfriend came to my house, and imagine that guy wants me to talk to him. Why must I talk to this guy? He hasn't married my sister. So I'm going at it with she mustn't bring that guy there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him.
Sure.
When I go there to see him, he must never be there. Or Sizolo. Then she was listening and listening and listening.
Yeah. Ukumele.
And then I'm fired up.
Yeah.
In my family, I'm that guy that solves things.
Sure.
If unenking justice uzodila naye.
Yeah.
And I was ready to deal with that guy.
You live up to your name.
Yeah, uzocheka umntana githi. Ngoba kunaba uyahlanya uzoza kimi. Ngizodila angimsabi futhi.
Sure.
So that's my mentality. And my wife says to me, cool, okay. So tell me, how does it work for you that you are here? We are here. We are at my house. My brother is that side. You sit by the fireplace with him and chat away and laugh and go cycling and have beers and go to dinners together and call each other without me.
Sure.
How does that work for you when you have such beautiful relationships with my brothers that love you and embrace you? And your sister, you can't echo the same energy. If there's an issue with that guy, how will you know?
Yeah.
How will she be able to come to you and say, hey, I'm having problems? Because your way of being is just violent. How does that work? Why do you have double standards? Maybe you and Hilton shouldn't be friends, or you and Philip shouldn't be friends.
Sure.
And I'm like, I had to reevaluate. And it kept me thinking. Then I felt bad, it dawned on me how horrible I've been to my sister.
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
and I tried to fix that. But it was tough because obviously that's just been my whole life.
Yeah.
This tough guy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That my sister can only call me when there's a fight that
Yeah.
needs to be, you know, when something hectic needs to happen. She will never call me for something sensitive.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
And Mfana paid the price. My sister had a firstborn.
Yeah.
We are 4 kids.
Okay.
We've got an elder brother, Chirizi. It's the 2 of us, Patwan and I.
Sure.
Then we've got Rutzani, our younger sister.
Yeah.
And Rutzani and her beautiful man.
Sure.
He's amazing, bro. I'm glad he's in our life. I'm glad he's our sister's partner.
Yeah.
So then they expect a kid. She falls pregnant.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah. No way.
My brother knows.
Yeah.
I have no idea. My mom knows. My elder brother. Everyone knows. But just this. Then my elder brother calls me to say, hey, we need to talk. Okay, cool. We need to talk. Cool. About what? Okay, Rutzani is pregnant. She's expecting a baby. My healed self is excited, bro. I'm over the moon that, oh my goodness, I'm going to have a niece or nephew. But then I reverse this thing and I'm like, man, why isn't Rutzani calling me to tell me this?
Yeah.
Rutzani can't call me because she's scared of my past. She's scared of the guy I've always been.
More justice and less grace. Yeah.
Yes, because I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to punch her man. You know, I'm gonna make a scene. You know, and she can't come to me with such beautiful news, and it hurt me.
Shucks, bro.
But you know, when we hurt people, we can't determine how they deal with our hurt.
Yeah.
Even when we are healed, I've done the work, and I'm like, a new man, I'm progressive, this, and this, I'm making an effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that she can meet me where I am now.
Sure.
Because she still needs to process her trauma that I put upon her.
And you need to take accountability for that, yeah.
I have to. Shucks. And give her the space. So that was tough, man.
Oh, that's rough, man.
That was, even her second born, she didn't call me and say, big bro, we are expecting a second baby. And I have to sit in my corner of rubbish.
Yeah. It's the pile I built,
And say, that's the guy that I made myself to be.
Yeah.
So that inspires me to try do as much work as a man so that one day when I'm blessed with a family, with my own child, I don't create that space for her. I'd love for my daughter or my son to come to me when they're in trouble or when they're experiencing their first love. To say, Dad, I met this girl or I met this guy.
Sure.
And they know that I will be a safe place.
Sure.
I wasn't a safe place for my sister.
Shucks, man.
I'm not a safe place for her.
Shucks, bro.
So doing the work is very much inspired by things like that. And my wife sparked it.
Sure.
Believe it or not, I had huge complex around homophobia. Homophobia. I took it personal. That time, it's none of my business, someone's sexuality.
Yeah, 100.
100,
yeah.
But it's all the things that we inherit.
Yeah.
And without running away from accountability, but sometimes critical thinking as a human being is key to ask yourself, what of this is my own? What's my personal view of this? I felt so strong about...
Sure.
I was so homophobic, and I will never tell you why. I can't explain it. In my new journey as a healing man, when I step back and ask myself, why did I feel so strong about that? I can't tell you. Do you know why? Because I just inherited something that's not my own.
Sure.
and I made it my own. And I called again. I'm gonna it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very important as human beings to formulate our own ideas.
Yeah.
You know, even when your idea is wrong, it's important to formulate your own idea say, this is my own view. Then as you grow and learn, you can change your view. It's okay. You can say, no, man, I was wrong.
Because you can't change it if you didn't own it.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. You can't change it if you didn't own it.
If you own it at the beginning, as you progress, as you grow, as you interact with people, then you have the ability to say, okay, let's move this rock here.
Yes.
Maybe some of these rocks are not even permanent.
Yeah.
They can move.
My relationship with my sister, I had to identify after chatting with my wife that, I've been horrible. Sure. I'm actually a horrible brother.
Sure.
You know, and all my efforts to try make amends, even when they are not met with grace, it's not my place to be entitled to her grace. Yeah. You know, but the most important thing is for me to say, hey, I actually messed up here. Right. Yep. You know, and I don't have to blame society to say, society shaped us to be toxic men. Sure. No, you must be accountable.
Yeah. There's a point where society stops shaping you and you start making decisions, even if it's based from what society has already told you. But at some point, you have agency as a person.
Yes.
And so you choosing now, am I going to act based on what I've been taught, or am I going to make it different?
That's why it's important to say, what of this is my own?
Yes.
Like, why do I feel so strong about this? Have I thought about it?
Yes.
You know, I need to think deeply about it, you know. Like, I used to, my whole life, I did not believe in getting married.
Yes.
You know, I don't believe in a lot of things.
Yes.
And all of that comes from a place of, what of this is my own?
Yours,
I always think, Uti, this is a man-made thing.
Sure.
It's a collective of people that came together and created these rules that you must get married, you must wear a ring, you must, if you're not doing this, you know, then I'm like, I'm rebellious. Sure. I don't like trends.
That's why you're an artist, man.
You know, so I'm like, love, we don't need to get married.
Sure.
Why? For who?
Sure.
For we're fine. We love each other, right? Are you happy? Am I happy? Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. Know? Yeah. Then that was our life.
Sure.
Even when we got to them getting married part, it was a huge surprise to me that it felt right.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was, I wouldn't say it was abrupt, but her and I have always been chilled.
Yeah.
Just rolling.
Yeah. Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Then she flew to go visit her brother and sister-in-law in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Fana, I missed her. She was there, I think, 6 weeks.
Sure.
I'm a sucker for love. It's hard for me to be alone. I wouldn't make it single.
Sure.
Being single is painful. So she was gone for 6 weeks, and it felt like a year. It was hard, man. And you know, COVID was a huge blessing because my partner and I are so independent of each other. But COVID, we were together back to back for a year. And it was amazing. It was like, what? Is this you?
Yeah.
You know, every day I was like falling in love and being blown out. Like, damn, this is amazing. Sure. I must be home more. You know, then after that, it kind of evolved our relationship. Then she was gone for that holiday to go visit her brother and her sister-in-law and the kids. Fana, I missed it. I was like, you need to come back. I even wanted to fly there, but I had work, you know. So when she came back, she said, okay, cool, let's get married.
Sure. You're like, sure.
Yeah. No brainer. Yeah. And my wife wasn't sure of having kids.
Okay.
She didn't want kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I wanted kids so bad. Sure. So during COVID, she said, I think she is willing and would love for us to have kids.
Sure.
So she changed her mind, but we didn't know when. Then when she came back, she said, cool, we must get married because we're going to have children.
Sure.
And these are the reasons why being married works when you have children. You know? Yes. When? And I think we got married after 2 months of that.
Yeah.
We decided 2 months before. Then after we set a date, then we got married after 2 months. And our plan was just to sign.
Yeah.
And
65 rand, guys, at Home Affairs. 65. 75 now, I think.
So that was our plan. But parents are parents.
Yeah.
We wanted this and that. And I'm like, my father-in-law is like, no, bro.
Yeah.
No, Justice, we need to do this and this. I'm like, no, we can't. We must go to church. I don't want that. Also, luckily, because it was abrupt.
Sure.
We didn't have to do venues and this and this. So my wife and I decided that we'll do it at home in our house.
Stop, bro.
So we invited our co-friends, colleagues, people we love. There wasn't. It wasn't even supposed to be an event. It was just gonna be lunch and that's that. So we got a lady who officiated my wife's brother and sister-in-law. To officiate us. We got rings. My wife's aunt made us rings. I wasn't even thinking rings. You know, to me, it's not. I'm not precious about it. So is she. She's not precious about that. I'm gonna be. You see how I'm dressed? I'm wearing shorts and sneakers. For me, there was that. I'm gonna just pull something in my wardrobe. I've got clothes, guys. Shirts, shorts. None. Then that was the thing. Then she said to me, "No, man, she wants to wear her mom's wedding dress."
Okay, sure.
What does that look like? And it doesn't even look like a wedding dress. Okay, so what are you gonna do? No, she altered it herself and her mom.
Sure.
Then we went to our favorite restaurant and asked them to cater for us. Then it was quick thing. Yeah. We put it together on the day. Then the night before, like late afternoon, I was with my brother and my best friend. And my best friend said to me, he got us into clothes too. It's like, tomorrow when you are getting married to your wife, you'll be wearing shorts. And I had my wife make me like a 2-piece.
Sure.
But now this morning, and I sent them a photo the night before, and my friend was roasting me because he loves clothes. Then we drove to Sentin with my brother and best friend, and I bought shorts. Then I bought a shoe.
Come on, bro.
I bought socks. I bought a shirt. And a vest.
Sure.
And we went home. I went and I slept. Woke up in the morning. Oh damn it! Then I drove to my barber, cut my hair, came back. My friends were there. Everyone was there. We just put the tables together.
Still,
officiated us. I asked a friend to take photos. He came to take photos. Sweet.
It's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
It's dope, man. My wedding was similar in terms of size. And just the chill nature. I mean, we had like 61 people.
Amazing.
61.
That's small.
It was super small, man. My wedding was probably 4 hours, bro.
That's dope.
We were supposed to start at 12. We started at 12:30. By 4:30, we were driving out. We were leaving.
Mfana. That's dope.
It's just like, listen, because another thing is, similar to the conversation, G63, people spend 3 million on the wedding.
Mfana, easy. Easy.
And then they forget that they have a marriage.
Mfana,
to live out,
tomorrow
to be
when
together.
you wake up, either you're in debt or you're 3 bar down. But again, I think it's important to say what's important to you and me might not be important to the other person.
Yes.
So for me, I wouldn't, but I understand when other people do it. I wouldn't do it. So for me, the small little vibe we did, we had 40 people.
Sure.
That was enough for me,
Yeah.
you know. Then my energy goes to the things that
exactly.
Because
my thing is marriage is hard on its own.
Yeah.
And
but I want to challenge you on that.
But here's the thing, not because of marriage itself.
Yeah.
But we're humans.
Yes.
We're humans.
Yeah.
And so living with somebody who has their own dreams, their own ambitions, has their own way of seeing life.
Yeah.
You guys are coming to formulate one world, you know. So it's two worlds coming together.
Yeah.
And there is going to be some tension. There's going to be some rubbing up against each other. That's going to happen. That makes living with somebody a tough thing. As much as, you know, so similar to you, COVID for us was amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And because we both introverts with my wife, it was just the best time. Even now we have secret prayers. We're like, God, listen, can people not die? But can we have another lockdown? Can we have a lockdown without death? In jail, please, right?
That's so
just
funny.
The whole country,
Yeah.
you know, Uncle Cyril comes up and is like, hey,
close it down.
Yeah, Maglalwe, ne? Please, man.
Yeah,
you know?
It
was the best time. But again, there's just how, you know, we at a core level, we both have the same worldview. But again, upbringing, you know, Froyam came from the burbs, you know. You know, so me and you are fine, simply put to the whole day, the whole month. And she's like, nah, you know, so just having to find ways to live together and create this new beautiful picture is not going to come without its challenges. You know, so I'm like, already for me, I'm anticipating that building a life together is going to cause us to be intentional.
Yes.
So 3 million rand debt on top of that.
No, for sure. You know how I look at. I personally I never want to look at anything as difficult.
Okay.
Because once I put those words into whatever that, like if I say marriage in its own is difficult, I'm wearing difficult lenses. Now I'm going to see my marriage or my relationship and my friendship as difficult, whereas I could see it as beautiful. Then the difficulty can be amongst the things that happen, but it's not the thing I lead with. You know, like I'll tell you, my wife and I have been together 12, 13 years. Smooth. No friction. No friction. I'm not lying. Like even my friends say, "Hi, Mfana kanjani? You guys are weird." You know. But I think the secret to that for me has always been a positive outlook. I never, not that there isn't friction. Like literally, I'm not convincing myself with there's friction. Like I know, I can give you an example. I love things, man. I mean, I love things. I mean, I like things. I love things. So I never had any, you know. My wife had a different life and upbringing. So she doesn't like things the way I do. So in principle, that's where our friction meets.
Will be,
You know. We've got a beautiful house. I've got specific taste. Mfana, renovating so. I want a couch like this. I want this and this and this and this and this and this. She's like, no, why do we need that? So in principle, that's where we are meeting in friction. But I'm only thinking about it now as friction. I've never saw it as a difficult thing. I just look at it as when in our previous house, when we were renovating, I said to her, love, this is how we should do this thing. First of all, let's establish who this thing is important to first.
Come on.
Right? Renovating and having aesthetics that are specific is something I feel very strong about. So let's agree that I must run with that. Are you okay with that? Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. Tick that box. Then number 2, let's establish how much we are willing to spend. Okay, we want to spend 50K to do a renovation. Is that reasonable for you? Is that what feels right? Okay, cool, that feels right. Then what I do, I'll take that agreed amount and work my taste around it.
Sure.
Then how are we meeting? We are meeting each other in a smooth way. You know, that's how a positive outlook in any relationship works. Because of course we will never be the same. Of course we'll never have the same taste. Of course we've got different worldviews and sometimes principles, and maybe there's where we meet. Maybe there's where there's friction. But if we look at it with a positive outlook, it's always helped me, because I always just think, man, I get to build a world with this person that I love.
Yes.
She doesn't. We used to live in an apartment in town. Yeah. Or maybe the proximity to town was very close.
Okay, sure.
Right?
Sure.
I grew over it. Mkhulele kasi. You know, my life and household has always been busy. So the town was busy for me.
Sure.
But my wife is like, oh my goodness, I love this.
It's fascinating.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
she grew up in the Babs where it's quiet.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. And I outgrew it, and I'm like, okay, cool. We are doing well. We can go stay in the parks. We can look for a house. We can look for this and this and this. Then I started the conversation. Listen, I've been looking at places. This is what. Ati, wow, ufuna ukahamba. Like, no. We are in a place where we can.
Yeah.
Ati, no, I love it here.
Yeah.
I don't love it here.
Sure.
Then why don't you love it? Okay, cool. Yes. Let's step back.
Yeah.
Then we break it down. Okay, this is my case. Khulele kasi, not a pity party. Khulele kasi, khulele for rooming.
Sure.
Ngani.
Yeah.
It was 3 of us in 1 bedroom and 2 beds.
Yeah.
It's busy. I didn't quiet time.
Yeah.
You know, then I put my case. Yeah. Then what's your case? Then we weigh it up.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, no, I hear you.
See.
Even though my reality is different, does not mean that we should preference me because I was a bit disadvantaged.
Sure.
We just need to put a case together and work it out together and say, cool, who is it important to, this thing? Then we're like, okay, cool. Okay, let's look for a house again. Then we're like, okay, as your rent, let's go rent first so that we experience the parks and feel if we want to be in the parks. Sure. Then we rented a place in the parks. Okay. Vana, first week, oh my goodness, I love this. I was walking from, I went to Rosebank, I went to blah, 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 blah. Oh, is it? You love? Okay, cool. Do you think we can buy now?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Sure. So for me...
But you see what you're describing? That's marriage.
Yes.
That's relationship.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't see that. And I think you've kind of mentioned it a couple of times. We come in with our egos.
Yeah.
And that makes that which you just described a very hard thing.
Yes.
As you explaining it now, it's like, sure, it's an easy process. Yeah. But now when somebody's there with their ego, let's say your situation. And then you don't even see the necessity, even out of love, to explain to your partner, this is where
this is how I feel.
Yes. Here's the thing, and maybe we can, I'm not stopping this train of thought.
Go for it. Yeah.
But some of the pushback we've gotten with this content, right, and is that we simps. Right?
Yeah.
So even talking like this,
you're a simp.
Are you a simp?
Yeah.
You've worked hard, yeah. Even the scenario you painted of your sister, there's ways we do things here. Yeah. Don't come here now. Do you
know what happens? People hold on to the idea of who they think they are and who they think they are expected to be so tightly, they miss the opportunity to evolve to be better for themselves.
Sure. Hey, sorry to interrupt your viewing. We will shortly get back to that episode because obviously there's a lot of dopeness in there, right? But before we go back there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're updated on all the episodes that we are dropping, right? Here's the thing. There's a lot of value. There's a lot of gems. There's a lot of dopeness that comes out of this. What do we want to do? We want to bless you with more dopeness, give you more gems, right? And with that, check out what's coming out next week. What's the apprehension? Why don't they want to get married?
Because it's like being tied to one woman. Like that whole being tied to one woman is quite shocking for people and very.
Why?
Because the world is can have as many people as you like, and that's the dating space. You know what I'm saying? Like.
People hold on to the idea of who they think they are and who they think they are expected to be so tightly, they miss the opportunity to evolve to be better for themselves.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
In the community that I grew up in,
sure.
Nami, my father was saying, Indota, I'm mamelu mfazi. That's my dad, bro. That's my dad. With all this life experience and beauty that I experienced after my dad left, being raised by women, I must be the one pushing that ideology.
Sure.
You know, I must be the one pushing the ideology of my society. How about my own intention? How about framing my own views? How about stepping back and saying, what of this is mine as a human being?
Sure.
You know, imagine how much more difficult my relationship or marriage would be if I was approaching it. No, listen, I grew up tough. I was in a 4-room, you know, I worked hard and I'm buying this house. Do you know what that does? The tone of your marriage is not going to be nice. And who is that going to affect?
Sure.
You. So, Mfana, it's always better to put yourself in your own favor.
Sure.
Do yourself a favor. Like, Mfana, there's no friction in just stepping back and saying, hey, this is how I feel about this.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was a time, you know, I love cars.
Yeah.
You know, okay, things were making sense. And I'm like, my goodness, I've dreamt of a Range Rover all my life.
Sure.
You know, and I can get it now. Yeah. And the hurdle now is my wife. Yeah. You know, but then I was like, no.
Sure.
First of all, it's not about me asking for permission.
Yes.
We are a team.
Hundreds.
We're a team.
1,000.
We are working towards one common goal.
Sure.
So that's the first way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So when I went to her, I said, love, this is where we are. Mini Cooper bhadelwe ke manje phelile Mini Cooper and it's been 2 years or whatever. Indlu ibhadelwe. Things are okay.
Sure.
We are okay now. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
I'd love to get this car. I did my research. This is what it's looking like.
Sure.
These are my options. X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm bringing her into the party.
Yes.
You know, for her to understand it from my point of view. Is it a flex? Of course it's a flex. Stand is into, no doubt. I love things. I love watches. I love clothes. But if I do it from a place where I'm pushing against my wife, it's only going to be uncomfortable for me. So if I bring her into my space, you know, within reason and say, listen, I've been dreaming about this car. You can see it's the screensaver of my thing since we've been dating. You know, I put my case forward. This is how I can buy this thing. This is how it affects us. This is my solution. This is my projection. You know, if I'm going to sell the Mini Cooper, this is how far it gets me into this car. This is X amount I've got and it gets me this far. I'm bringing her into the party.
Hundreds, man.
Love, think about it. But it means so much to me to have something like this. And hey, I've been breaking my back. I would love for me to drive to work in
comfortable.
I want to. It's not even about comfort. I just want, you know. We can lie to ourselves. Those things are not practical. It's not practical. There's no reason why you should be paying 3.5 million for a G63. Apart from and that's the truth, guys. It's the truth. When I walk away and say and look back, that's all I want to spend my 3 power for. That's the truth. There's no practical reason, because a Kia will take you from here to Cape Town. You know, but it's important to me.
Sure.
I love how it makes me feel. Yeah. I love how it makes me look.
Yes.
It's part of my brand.
Hundreds, yeah.
There's no realistic reason, guys. Let's not lie.
So there's a guy who's saying right now, that's exactly why I don't want to get married. I don't want to go through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the vele dala ngisho. Again, you guys are Sims.
Mina, all I can say, I'm not an advocate for men to be married.
Sure.
I'm not an advocate for men to be married. I'm an advocate for men to do what they want.
Sure.
As long as you are winning in whatever you want to be.
Sure.
You know, I can tell you the advantages of being married. You can consider them. If you don't want that for yourself, I am fana. Cool. But mina, being married, having a partner has done so much more for me than not.
Sure.
Like, fana, here's the thing, and I'll say this story because my twin brother speaks of it as well, you know, himself. Yeah. So I'm blessed to be a twin. So I've got a mirror.
Yeah, sure.
I chose my partner a lot earlier than he chose a partner that he can move forward with the way I have. And that choice set me up so much more and so much better than my brother.
Who, by the way, calls himself a slave queen.
Yeah. It set me up so much more. Like, I'm saying this because he also says it.
Yeah.
You know, he's done the work.
Yeah.
You know, and he's come to me and he's like, Mfana, I'm realizing now. You know, he's got a beautiful partner now. I love her. She's amazing. And he was saying to me, the best thing you did for yourself is to choose to be in your relationship. Sure. Because, Mfana, it set me up. Like, if pound for pound, if we compare my basic achievements, like I've had a house for more than 10 years. Yeah. He's had a house for 3 years.
Sure. Katapis.
Yeah. You know, so, and I think sometimes when not everyone that's single is not doing well.
No, hundreds.
Because, you know, some people are able to hold it down.
Yeah.
I'm a person that I know I won't hold it down. I'll be driving that G63 right now, and I'll have a small apartment, and I don't care. You know? But now, at least, I've got a nice house.
Sure.
You know, I've got another house. I've got things. Yeah. You know, and within that, I do have a G-Wagon, but I've got a G-Wagon, a vintage G-Wagon. That's my project car. I love it.
Still, by the way.
Thank you. When I pack it and I look back, I feel like I paid 3 million. You know, I cheat the system.
Sure.
I drive it every day.
I look stupid.
And I'm like, Bana, guys, listen, who needs a 3.5 million rand when you can, you know? So, sometimes, for me, having a partner helped me cheat the system.
Sure.
It helped me make bolder choices. I remember when I was buying my first house, I wanted to quit. Because it was tough, bro. Like, I was financing that Mini Cooper I couldn't afford.
Sure.
And the bank was looking at my paperwork about when I go work for another year, man, and come talk to us.
Sure.
You know? Sure. And my love said, love, no, let's do this strategy.
Sure.
Let's do this. Let's put away money like this. Let's do this. Let's structure it like this. You know? Then her dad intervened. Justice, come, let's chat. Then we had a conversation.
Sure.
Then he gave me advice. Okay, cool. You want to buy a house? Let's do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. In 6 months, I was in.
Sure.
There we go. First house.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bana.
Then I look at my wife and I'm like, damn, if you were not here, I wouldn't do this, because it's easier to buy a car than a house.
Yeah.
It's easier to buy a car than a house.
Yeah.
You can buy a car without affordability, without a salary.
Yep.
And walk away with it.
Yep.
But buying a house, It took a village. It took a village. My first house.
And that set you up.
Set me up.
Set you up.
Then, you know, okay, this is how we work our money. This is what we do. Okay, cool. She has her own job. Then I'm like, no, man. Is it possible? Because she was, you know, running a household is not easy.
No.
She was running our household.
Yeah.
She had her own job.
Sure.
She had her own business, you know. And she was helping me out unofficially with my things. Then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is how things are looking like for me.
Sure.
Is it possible for you to consider to come join my business and run my business with me full time and take your business and do it? You know, is this something you can consider? Okay, cool. Maybe let's do a pilot. Let's run it for a year. Then we ran it. And I'm doing so much better.
Sure.
Okay, cool. We need to have this conversation. Love, listen. I think if we do X, Y, and Z, and you run my business this way, and you become a partner here, and you run your business this way, it will set us up. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Then we're doing that.
Yeah.
And now I walk into a nightmare.
Yeah.
Financial transparency.
Hey, talk about that one, man. Hey, ring at that.
Funny fending anxiety. Because mangiswepe uzobona lo muntu ukuthi ihlezi le malini.
Yeah.
You know. Mfana then. Yo, mfana, ngifuna ikamera. And ama camera ahlala 10. Maningi. I always have a reason to buy another one. And that reason makes so much sense.
Sure.
Yo, okay.
Yeah.
Transparency. Yo. Then I go to my mentor. Ngifonela Umpo. I've got another mentor and a brother, Umpo Twala.
Sure.
Umpo. Let's chat then. Kulman Umpo Lapa is breaking it down. The brother, listen, when you do this, so she's gonna look at my money, very. Noma kuphume 50 uzobona ukuthi
Yeah.
No, let me think about it then.
Sure.
I arrived at a place where I was okay with it.
Sure.
And I said, you know what, let's do a pilot run.
Yeah.
We do a pilot run of financial transparency.
Sure.
So I brought her into my books.
Yeah.
She became a partner in my business.
Yeah.
Brought her in. She manages my accounts. Sure. She does my HR. Everything. So she's running the business.
Yeah.
Doing the things. 6 months. Mfana angathengi next. Mfana angathengi.
No cow, see.
LV dropped a new trainer. Angwazi kuya LV. Mfana ngibe frustrated. Mfana ngicela meeting. Baby. We need to talk about this thing. Mfana ngiyaventa lapha. No. I feel uncomfortable. It's not working, this thing for me.
Sure.
Because I feel like I have to answer to you. Athi kimi mfethu bheka in all this time working together. Ngeke ngakubuza ngemali yakho mina. Ngeke ngakuchallenge, ngeke ngathi don't do this, don't do that.
Sure.
What's making you feel that way? What's making you feel that way? I'm like, I was in Sentin and now I'm overthinking. I don't know, but I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. It's your own insecurities.
It's you.
Sheesh.
It's you. I have nothing to do with that. If it gives you peace, I don't even get a notification. I don't even see when you are spending your. I don't even see that.
Yeah.
I don't even see when I'm making payments. I don't get notifications. So go live your life.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Okay, another 6 months trial run.
Yeah.
After 12 months, I'm looking at my books.
Yeah.
I've never had so much money
much
in my
money.
life.
Yeah.
How do I have so much money? What happened?
Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
I'm holding myself accountable because I've got someone to answer to as well.
And you guys are building.
I'm building.
Sure.
We are building.
Sure.
So I can't just go all out and buy
Fit.
a Cartier there, but you win a Santos. 300. You know,
Yeah.
Mfana, the last thing I did, my G-Wagon, I bought it before we did the financial transparency.
Sure.
My friend uyangibonisa na mfana le moto le price le hayi mfana sami manje dala ngifuna le moto ayi ngiyabanika imali ngiye endlini ngiyacabanga mfana what am I gonna say obviously mina no man my brother what I've got stories ngiyacabanga mfana yo what am I gonna do I'm fana the story less fana it won't add up akunamuntu ozomnika imoto bakunika imoto enena imoto yami ipakile la mfana yo yazi mangiyipaka first time ngijika ngibheka ngithi yo bafethu my dream there it is mara ungena endlini
you feel right age
cause why I didn't build a case and bring it into the story.
Sure.
That time's planning renovation, we want to make a kitchen, we want mina sengithathele mat boom class classic yo happy
isiling lebe so i-change
naye kishi ya baby girl naye
sheesh
so again you know having a partner will help you make decisions that are in your favor. That's what it's done for me. You know, that's what it's done for me. Always, it has always done that for me. You know, and I can't be grateful enough for that. Even when it's frustrating, bro.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Speak of friction.
Sure.
Let you class manje. Ngiyayifuna mfethu. Anginandaba ukuthi ngiyayifuna. But that choice to think of my partner and what we are building together helps me so much. So much. Because every financial year end, I look back and I'm like, we are closer to that holiday home. What do we want? Oh, we want to go live in Japan. We are close almost now. You know?
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
You know, we could buy my mom a house.
Sure.
What? That beats a G63.
No, totally.
Even though Msaifuna, Mara, it beats it. You know, with that sacrifice allowed me to do that. And it was my love.
Yeah.
She said, love, if we do this and this and this, yes, we can be able to do that. I'm like, oh, mama, muhlale Soweto. Thina sihlale emasaba sivuka mfana sivuswa yini lenyoni lezi
hadida
kumnandi mfana
ukhanya intuthu
mfana yazi load shedding yasekhasi
nyakena nje
ayina schedule winter nje akuna electricity you know so ngishiya umama lapha ngigibela 3.5 million
izwa mfethu
kanjani mfana
izwa mfethu
when I can you know
bambisana
ngibambise ngiphathe ugogo wami lo weG class yakudala ngithi umama u right mangimfonela ngiyawezwa amahadida
sure
uyangithola ifridge igcwele on the internet she's running her own business that's amazing you know but if I was alone that choice was going to be far from me.
You've done a lot of work obviously on yourself.
So much.
You know,
still do.
You have 3 kinds of therapies. I mean, the others you could get into, but like, for the fact that you would even have, you know, the mentality to say, let me do therapy for all the areas that I think I need help in. It does take a lot, you know, and even the guys who would say you simping, or guys who would say that's why I don't want to be with somebody, etc., etc. As a man. Definitely, it's gonna take a lot of ego killing. The pride needs to, you know, park somewhere.
Always
become vulnerable. You know?
With you know, doing work. People look at it as you're doing other people a favor. You're not doing someone else a favor. You're doing yourself a favor. You are to benefit. No one else. You benefit first.
Sure.
Peace of mind and the benefits and the rewards of that are for you. Yes, we want to be better men for our society. But a better man for his society is a better man for himself. Because you've got happiness. You've got peace. You know, you can live with yourself. You know, part of doing the work is also knowing that you are not perfect.
Yeah.
We are work in progress.
Yeah.
You know, you'll do wrong. You are human.
Yeah.
But being able to know that I've done wrong
goes
a long way. Then you can identify those parts of you and do work on.
Yeah.
You know, like, Mfana, I can't tell you. We were speaking earlier about being older. I'm almost 40 now. I'm 39.
Sure.
I'm looking at 40, which is amazing for me.
Yeah.
My 20s were horrible. As nice as they seemed, and as nice as it seemed then,
yes,
I had no sense of myself. You know, I had no sense of the peace I have access to now that I do work. I do therapy. I'm vulnerable.
Sure.
I'm able to say, Van, I'm wrong.
Sure.
And yeah, I'll get crucified by those that I've wronged. But to acknowledge it for myself and forgive myself goes a long way. You know, you'll have peace. Because no matter how much work you'll do wrong.
Sure.
But the tools you acquire when you do your therapy is what's going to carry you.
Yeah.
You know, like, Mfana, when I was younger, I was so angry.
Yeah.
I was so angry, Mfana. I couldn't smile.
Sheesh.
I didn't want to
How much
smile.
of that was because of your dad?
I mean, a lot.
Okay.
And a lot of that too was the expectation of me from my society that I had to uphold. I thought I had to uphold. You know, when we were growing up, justice is the bad twin. How justice usheshile uzokunyathela justice.
Sure.
Justice uphuma silwe.
Yeah.
You know, all those things, I took them and made them my own. And what of that is my own? None. Fana, if I look at photos of me as a younger man, it's unlikely you'd find me smiling.
Damn, bro.
And Mfana, kindly, I've got a beautiful smile.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that.
Now you do, bro.
I didn't know that. Thank you. I didn't know that. Because why? I thought I looked better angry.
Sure.
A man needs to be like this.
Sure.
You know, a man who puma masilwe. Manje. You know? And I was aggressive.
Sure.
I was arrogant because I knew that I don't mind fighting. I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing either. You know? Mfana, we can go.
Now.
I'll lose. It's fine. I'll lose with grace. Now. You know?
Sure.
And what of that is my own?
Yeah.
And in my younger years, that's not fun, man.
No.
Like now,
Sure.
I can smile. I can sing. I can dance. You know, I can sleep with peace. Nyalahla. I don't have to look out for any danger.
Sure.
You know, I've got love. You know, sometimes, as much as I said earlier, hip hop saved my life.
Yeah.
Alongside that, hip hop can teach you a lot of negative things.
Totally, bro.
Because you'll encounter rappers that preach negative, the negative gospel.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy to listen to that and take that as your own. You know, like I listened to a rapper called Necro. Imagine that name.
I remember that thing. Necrophilia.
Yeah, I loved Cannibals. And the content is so aggressive.
Yeah.
And when you listen to that, I mold myself to that.
You better watch who you beef with.
Yes. Why am I beefing with people? Imagine when I was younger, I beefed with people. Saying namaskar, man.
Hey, smile.
You know?
Yeah.
So doing the work is so important, you know.
Man.
And my wife taught me that.
Still, bro.
And she taught me the importance of doing that for myself. For myself. She was like, bro, I don't need you to be better for me. I know who you are. You're a beautiful and wonderful person. And who you bring to me is amazing.
Sure.
But you need that peace for yourself. You see this person that you bring to me? You need to bring that person to yourself. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I had to sit with that.
Yeah.
You know, and look at myself and where I fall short.
Sure.
You know, and be vulnerable with myself. With I think I know it all, me. You know, or I'm arrogant. Oh, I'm this. I think the world revolves around me. You know, all those things.
Sure.
You know, all my life growing up, I wasn't seen as a handsome person.
Sure.
Right? Then I grew older. There was a bit of money and style. And now I'm seen as a handsome man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Messed with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now I'm like...
Because you're the same guy.
Yeah. Because I used to struggle to be seen.
Sure.
And now I rock up with my twin brother.
Yeah.
We are dressed up.
You guys take the whole room.
Smiling.
Yeah.
We've got aura.
Yeah.
You know? And now it's in my head. And doing the work helps you to know who you are when no one's looking.
What's that process, man? What are you feeling? Because I can imagine, you know, you know, you have to, it's like a cape.
Yes,
you have
it's
to
a
put on
mask.
that cape and that mask every morning. Yeah. Njalo yitsho, you know? And you don't know a reality without that mask or that cape.
Yeah.
The minute you have to take it off, not just when you go to sleep, because when you're sleeping and you're alone, you
My
probably
guard is
take it
down.
off and you're like, so.
Do you know what it's like?
Now having to leave your house
Without it.
without the mask, having to be in a relationship without the mask,
Yeah.
having to look at your brother and tell him without
Mfana, which was hard.
the mask. I remember you said it
Yeah.
was at the Holding Space project.
Yes, yeah.
Where you had to sit
In
knee to knee with the guy, have
A
your knees
stranger.
touch. Yes.
See, now we can hold eye contact.
Yes.
I couldn't.
Yes.
You know, I
Yes.
sat in front of a guy and Bati, look at his nose, look at his teeth, look at his ears, look at his eyebrows. Ihomophobia yenzani mfana that it's flaring.
Isinika amandla nje.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi laba bangihlanyela. Ngenzeni? I'm so uncomfortable.
Sure.
But that exercise helped me realize that the love of my life, my brother, I love that guy with all my heart. I've never looked him in the eyes. I've never looked at his nose, his pimple, what the color of his eyes look like. I've never actually looked at how he breathes.
Sure.
I've never looked at the texture of his lips.
Sure.
Because society says, what if that is my own?
So what was happening to you when you have to take that mask off now?
Mfana, you know,
justice, Joe.
Mfana, for me, it was the most amazing thing that happened to me.
Dope.
And I encourage people to try.
Dope.
You know, the best example I can give you is in front of our parents and our very close loved ones, we are not wearing a mask. And life feels like this. You are at ease.
Yes.
You are at peace.
Yes.
There's flow. And when I took that hot mask off, all parts of my life was at ease. You know, all parts of my life is at ease because I can say I'm wrong.
Sure.
I don't have to uphold a level of this idea I have of myself, even at work. Like, people look at me and my brother and say, yo, these guys are dope. And Fana, I'm such an insecure person. I don't even think I'm good at what I do.
Sure.
Right? But I'm able to say in my place of work with my peers and the people and my bosses, guys, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Dope, bro.
I don't know. And you know what that does? They are able to hold me.
Do you know how many people can't say that, though?
Yeah, because
not because not themselves. They're not even gonna allow themselves to say that, especially not at work, Joe.
Fana, I was having a chat with my wife.
Sure.
We were working on a film. It was difficult, man. Like, it was difficult. Fana, it was difficult for me. It was difficult for my colleagues. It was a hard process. Then I asked a meeting with one of my colleagues. She's my boss or my producer. I'm like, you know, it's tough. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't understand where the issue is, you know. I'm like, Helena, I don't know what's going on. Then I called another one, Roseanne, I'm struggling. I don't know what's, it's tough. Then I thought to myself, oh yeah, it's because I've got a new producer. Then I formulated a story,
Yeah.
that puts me in a position where I'm not the one that's wrong.
Sure.
I'm like to my wife, I'm going to call Helena and Roseanne and talk to them about it, because you know what? I've always worked well with other producers. Maybe because me and my new producer are still learning each other, it's tough. That's why it's tough. Like my wife is there flying my flag. Yeah, love, yes, blah, 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 blah. Because obviously she's riffing off of what I'm giving her.
Yeah, she's not on set.
Yeah. Then I called Roseanne. She's also one of my boss's producer, mentor. And I was having she called me, having a chat with me about the very film we were working on, and she loves it. It's amazing. Sure. You did well. Then I'm thank you, blah, blah. But it was so hard in that thing. What do you think happened? Then I was giving her an example, and I'm like to her, because I'm vulnerable also. I opened that door. I said, maybe there's something I was doing that made that whole thing challenging. Oh, I would like to know if there's anything on my side I've done. And she gave me an example of a project we did together. And she didn't say, you are the problem. Because obviously she loves me and she's trying to protect me.
Sure.
Then after that conversation, I thought, I formulated this whole story around other people. I never took the time to step back and say, what do I think my contribution was to this tough friction?
Sure.
Because I'm doing the work and I'm a vulnerable person with myself. I went there, Mfana. I went up my studio and I looked, Mfana, did my own post-mortem of the project. What do I think the issue is? What do I think? Then I'd replayed all the conversations I had with my producers or bosses. And I recall Helena saying, love, you need to be more proactive. You need to be more proactive. And in my mind, it didn't register that that's where the friction is. Then it dawned on me. I'm fun. This thing is heavy because of you, my man.
Yeah.
My man, you are the problem.
Yeah. Were you directing on that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, guys, I've given my team such a hard time because I'm in a blind spot.
Yeah.
Looking for problems outside of myself. Then, no, man, I know. My contribution to this thing is that in this project, I wasn't proactive because I've got ADHD and no excuses. My mind, if I don't have a system, like a to-do list daily, I'm going to try to do a lot of things. At the end of the day, I've done nothing. Because I'm a director, everyone needs to deliver on their work based on what I give them. I mean, at that time, I'm waiting for my producer to give me a to-do list. Oh, yeah, she's going to send. Oh, today is a chill day.
Sure.
Everyone is waiting.
Direct and do it.
How? Mina? Okay, I looked at the locations. Blah. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Then I was able to, because I'm vulnerable and because I'm doing I was able to identify that, no, man. You are the problem, bro. Then I sat with my producer and said, listen, this is what I noticed. That this is what I've done. I've done this and this and this and this. And you know what that does? It makes my world so much easier. Because everyone around me is able to have empathy.
Sure.
Everyone around me is able, they don't have to deal with a director that's arrogant. It's like, no, you must deal with it. It's not my problem. Because it's easy for me to see that, himo yenza le problem. It's not me. Deal with it.
Sure.
But I'm able to stand up and say, guys,
I messed up, man.
My contribution to this friction was I wasn't proactive. This is what I've done. I don't know the other thing. I don't know. Maybe there are other moving parts, but
this one is mine.
And I'm going to sort it out. This is what I'm asking everyone to help me with. My producer, please, every morning, just in WhatsApp, please, I'm begging, give me a to-do list, because it's going to help me have it's fine. Everyone, they schedule their work over a period of time.
Sure.
My brain is doing this. I don't have, it's hard for me to get to a place where I'm going to go to my calendar and look and know.
Yes.
But if I get that WhatsApp, it's stamped in my head. I know, okay, cool.
That's what I need
I'm going
to
do my casting. I'm going to write my script. I'm going to flesh out this.
Yeah.
Now we're in harmony. But if I wasn't willing to look at myself and challenge myself, my relationships with everyone
man,
would be tough. So my world, because of doing the work, even in my journey, it feels like home. Because people see me for me.
Sure.
People can hold me. People can intentionally support me where they see I need support, because I'm able to say, yo, guys, I was wrong.
Still, man.
You know?
Yeah. Sure. I remember, so when we were doing renovations ourselves, we probably, that was the closest we got to divorcing.
It's tough.
Yeah. See, the conversation you had, who is this important to?
Yes.
And our answer was both of us. Okay. Who is it important to more? Our answer is both of us. So I remember the one thing we were doing is getting new curtains in the middle of the store. And I think she was standing. We had argued before we got out of the car. About the curtains, what we're gonna get. The color needs to thingy match with that. Okay, maybe we're not agreeing with this color. Let's go with a different color altogether. She's in the middle of the store. Not high. I mean, I was going further into the store because she was waiting, I think, for one of the people who worked there to come help her. Not high. I mean, but I was cooling down. Because at that point, all I was thinking is, I can find someone else to do this thing with. Like divorce her, find someone else to pick curtains with. And then as a man, I'm like, I just can't appreciate this. Other dudes don't even care about curtains. Like, man, I even care. I care about the color, the texture. I'm even here with you. Yeah. Better appreciate me. Right? So I'm like, it's again having, the know-how, but also taking time to do the work on yourself, to know how you function, so that you can also empower the people that you're with, particularly now in your wife, to empower her to say, hey, this is how my brain functions. These are my desires, these are my tastes, But I can only give her that information if I've done the work.
Yes, because you need to have an intimate relationship with yourself.
Yes.
And for an intimate, you need to be in love with yourself so much.
Yes.
And know all parts of yourself intimately.
Sure.
Not the idea of you.
Yes. Not the idea
Not
of
the
you.
idea of you. Like, who are you when no one is looking? You need
you're
to
naked.
know that intimately. Fana, I did this. I went to this camp that was suggested by my friend Mervin called the Mankind Project.
Sure. Yeah.
Fana, that thing.
Powerful.
Sure. Fana. I would encourage every man to go there.
Sure.
But I'll say this. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Sure.
And it's the most beautiful gift I've ever given myself.
Sure.
Because that program helped me know myself intimately. The ugliest parts of me. My darkest place. My shortcomings. I was naked, bro. Yeah. It's easy to say, spend time with yourself, understand yourself. Sometimes in that journey, because the idea of who we are is so important to us, it still creeps in.
Sure.
But that Mankind Project program was incredible, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done my whole life, but it's the most beautiful gift I've ever given myself.
Sure.
Like, I say I'm a vulnerable person, and I am vulnerable, yes. But when I got there, it stripped me of my power. It stripped me of, like, you know, who I am when no one is looking. I'm still wearing Fendi and a Cartier. I'm still in my ego. I'm still, I'm fine. I've got an old school G class.
It's cool.
It's rare.
Yeah.
You know, I get new one. I'm truth. That thing, that program stripped me of that.
Sure.
It was 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights. I arrived on a Friday and I left Sunday afternoon. Bro, if you want to give yourself, your wife and your daughter a gift,
sure,
go there.
Sure.
But it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Vana, like, I can't even tell. It's like initiation.
Sure.
But spiritual initiation.
Sure.
It has no religion.
Yeah.
It's you
Sure.
and you. And there will be other people,
Yeah.
but it's you and you. And you will meet who you are. And it's not going to be nice. Vana, I remember I went there. That 3 days felt like a year. But it also felt like I blinked and it was done.
Yeah.
Those two extreme things. It felt like I blinked, it was done. And it also felt like it was a year. I've never spent time with myself so intimately.
Yeah.
So intimately. It was, Vana, I've never experienced, like, you know, my chatting naza we ends upside.
Yeah.
I was like that.
Sure. Yeah.
I was like that. I never thought I had daddy issues.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a strong home. My mom was always present. She was vocal about our dad leaving.
Yeah.
She empowered us. There were other men in the community that contributed. So I always knew my dad was gone. I made peace with it.
Yeah.
I love him. So in me, I'm like, I don't have those issues. Sure. Other people have daddy issues, not me, bro. We're cool.
It's great. Sure.
Yo.
Sure. Yeah. Sheesh.
You know, I got to deal. I mean, you don't have to go to Mankind Projects. I'm sure there are programs that will help you get to that.
I must check it out, man.
Yeah, I'll send you the info.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's
Sure.
not easy, but it's the biggest and most beautiful gift you'll give your daughter.
Sure.
Your daughter
Yeah.
and your wife.
Sure.
I came back home, but I mean, I've got cell phone addiction.
Yeah.
And,
It is what it is.
ne?
Yeah.
I was there. I didn't have my phone there. You can't have your phone.
Yeah.
She's good because you won't even think of your phone, actually.
Sure.
As soon as you walk, you're not going to think about, you won't even think about your wife and kid. You're going to be thinking about you. Ne? So I walked in, did my thing, left. I remember just when I was leaving, I used my phone to GPS home. Then when I was close to home, I called my brother to say, I'm back. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'll chat to you tomorrow.
Sure.
Then I got home. I got to my wife and I broke down and I cried, bro.
Sheesh. Yeah.
Feeling grateful for what I went through. And it's the biggest gift I'm going to give my children one day. Knowing yourself intimately as a man. Because women know themselves intimately. Society grooms them to be, because they are able to love themselves as they are. Tina, everything that you become is an idea that's planted. That that's not you.
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
So all those things.
You heard uncles speak that way. You heard Damakhotman.
Yes, so you take all those things. You
Yeah.
also bring them into your marriage.
Yeah.
Because you saw your uncle abuse his girlfriend, and she took it. You heard them fight, and it was physical. Man vuke ekuseni, she's smiling. Baba kuluma. it makes it normal to you.
Sure.
Makes it so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's real. You remember when you got in and you asked me? I mean, obviously we were speaking before then, and you were like, "So you're a church guy?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need to unpack that."
Was that
right?
statement judgmental?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yo, we're gonna have to unpack that." But as you're speaking about the Mankind Project, for me, you know, and not that I'm not gonna check that out. I really want to check it out, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm connecting it to another thoughts after that statement.
For sure.
When you were like, "So when did this Christian thing start, or whatever?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I think it was a period of 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of get a lot of people who are like, you know, I met Jesus, gave my life, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, yo, man, it was really like a process. And part of that process is because I think started to come to the end of myself, and then just asking questions. You know, if you are who you say you are, Jesus, and you want me to follow you, because that's what you call people to do. Like, who are you genuinely? What's this thing? What are you? You know what I mean? And I think having to be forced to look into the ugly parts of who I am, you know. The scariest thing for me was realizing like those ugly parts were always there.
For sure.
Right?
And they always will be there.
Yeah. That's the scary thing, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, dang it, like left to myself, like I'm just gonna be taken over by those parts, right? And just because of the demands of the world again, that whole societal pressure, you know, I have an affinity and probably like more pull towards those ugly parts of me, right?
For sure.
Right?
For sure. All of us.
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, if I'm just gonna be me and and not have any person, and in this case again, Jesus, reshape my worldview, kind of, you know, inform what being a man is, you know, inform what it means to be vulnerable, inform what it means to kill my ego, right? And do that daily, you know, and let it not just be a one-time thing. Because again, my, you know, 20-year-old self did not know what my 30-year-old self was going to look like, you know. And you can have hopes and dreams, and, you know, but again, life just happens and becomes what it is. And so I think for me, that was, you know, the turning point, the point where I was just like, yeah, man, I've tried this thing, you know. And I tried it with rap. I tried it, you know, my own way. I tried it with the art. I tried it, etc., you know. Again, having a father who was there, superhero, you know, how he loved my mom, loved us, shaped us, you know, spoke into our lives, discipled me, etc. He's gone, you know, so I'm like, so even superheroes are humans, right?
Even superheroes give up, bro.
They give up, bro. Even superheroes give up, you know. So I think it was for me having that moment of just saying, Jesse, I don't have anywhere else, man. You know, I'm gonna be here. And here's the thing: the more I walked with him, it's as though I got deeper and deeper into the ugly parts of who I am. You know, and the more I see that, the more I'm like, yo, man, I need to depend on this dude.
Yeah, you know,
the more I need to let go. It feels like there's a coming to an end of myself, but a continuous breaking as well. Of ego, breaking of pride,
discovering these new parts that are so much more amazing,
way better for me.
So much more amazing
for me, yeah.
Like the journey of healing,
yes,
is so powerful.
Yes,
because who you meet on the other side, is so amazing. That person is full of life, joy, opportunity, loved. Lighter, smile. Bro, do you know how beautiful it is to have joy? You know, people, that's the real wealth, bro.
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
That's the real wealth, bro. Because some people have all the wealth in monetary value, but they don't have joy. And what does it mean? You know, so, you know, the journey of healing and self-discovery and doing the work, you know, through the church, through whatever principle or discipline you go through, really helps, because you get to know the parts of yourself that your society and your upbringing and how we are socialized takes away from you.
Sure.
You know, like I cannot imagine living the rest of my life unhappy. Bro, I was unhappy. I was an angry guy. I was an angry. Why?
Sure.
I was angry. I was triggered by anything. Like even someone looking at me, and I would even say it.
Sure.
Imagine how horrible that is for your life.
Yeah.
Now you can lock eyes with someone else and smile.
Just smile, man. Yeah.
And how's it, bro?
Yeah.
Fist pump.
Yeah.
And maybe walking into the same direction. Oh goodness, this guy's walking into the same office I'm going. Actually, I'm going to present to this guy. Then nigi job.
Sure.
But before, you are driving, someone looks at you, hey, off. Whatever you do, you know, then we are driving into the same office. I'm pitching for something that's going to help me to the same person. So life is so much easier with joy, man.
Yeah. What would you define as joy? I have a definition. I want to hear yours.
I've never thought about that. That's a beautiful question. But I'll tell you what makes me happy.
Sure.
Being able to do the things I love.
Sure.
Being able to do the things I love, being able to help people I love makes me happy so much. It makes me happy, the idea of being a father one day.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That makes me super happy.
Sure.
My work makes me happy. What I do, all the things I do, they excite me. Because I couldn't have imagined having a career in all the things I obsessively love. Vana, you know, when I'm working on a treatment for a film, it's the most beautiful thing. It gives me so much joy.
Sure.
Like when I've done a series of paintings, everything I do makes me happy.
That's great.
Like even making videos. I now make these videos with my new camera and whatever. That thing makes me happy. I'm so upset. I even stopped myself from doing that. Like even my wife was like, bro, are you okay? Why aren't you filming or posting? I'm like, hey, I think I'm overdoing it because it just overwhelms me with joy. So the things I love and the things I do, both work and play, make me so happy. The other thing, man. I think those are the things. I'm so grateful for everything that I get to do. You know,
it's great, man. Yeah, for me, it's a deep assurance. And just even in the chaos of everything, there's a sense in which I'm anchored here. Right? So for me, that's joy.
That's amazing.
I might struggle to smile today.
Yeah.
But joy says, just because I struggle to smile, I can acknowledge I'm struggling today.
Yes,
right? That's a deep sense of assurance. But secondly, as much as I want to smile and bring out beauty, but I'm not necessarily defined by that alone.
Yes.
Because even the person who's struggling today, that's still part of me. That's still part of my experience, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it's like, regardless of the happenings, regardless of the ups and downs, like there's just a deep assurance, man. Yeah.
Do you know when you say that, I've got a theory that I love to speak about with my wife.
Yeah.
And she also reminds me sometimes when I'm struggling that if things are not going how I wish for them to go, if I'm struggling, she always reminds me that you must remember that in your life you've got 100% track record of making it through. And everyone has. There has never been a challenge, a problem, whatever it is, that you never overcome. In different forms. Either you got over it, either you broke through, whatever it is.
Or it just ended.
Everyone has 100% track record of making it through. That's why you're here today.
That's why you're alive, man.
Yeah. So the thing that was troubling me 5 years ago, or when I was trying to buy my first house, Mfana, I experienced depression for the first time there.
Sheesh.
Mfana, I've never felt so sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I was supported.
Sure.
And we made it, and I got to get the house.
Yeah.
Mfana, in that moment when I was I thought, it's not going to happen. I'll never own a house. The bank will never see me as a credible person to give a loan, blah, 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 blah. When I look back, it's not even maybe 10 years back. When I look back, it's like, man, Mfana, come on.
Yeah.
You know, we can call the bank now and get something, you know?
Sure.
That's the beauty of life. There was a time where I was dreaming of being a film director, bro. Dreaming. I would marvel and I look and oh my God, this is so Vana, how is this gonna happen for me? I couldn't see it.
Sure.
But life has 100% track record. All you need to do is to just show up.
Show up, bro.
Show up at your best. So that's my theory that anchors what you are saying.
It's dope, man.
It's
dope, bro. Bro, we could be here for
many years.
Many more years, man.
Yeah.
This has certainly been a dope conversation, you know. And it just, for me personally, feels like the start.
For me too.
Yeah, of a deeper conversation, a deeper friendship, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this was super dope, bro.
Nah, same, man.
You know, and again, I think just maybe just last words for you. To guys who are just struggling, you know.
Yeah.
Struggling mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
And you know, so one, we could struggle with our emotions, even for guys like us who, you know, are aware of that part of who we are and live in it. And you can struggle just because the world is broken and things are tough around us. But then there's guys who are just struggling to take off the mask.
Yeah. And that's a big struggle, bro.
Yeah. And it's rough.
Probably the biggest one.
It's the biggest, right? You can't take off the mask. So what would you say to those gents, man?
I think, I'd start with the mask, that holding on so tightly to the idea you think of yourself, to the idea you think society expects of you, only does you a disservice.
Sure.
There's so much more beauty on the other side when you bring yourself as yourself.
Sure.
Because the world can hold you. You know, if you are vulnerable and you say, hey, this is me at my worst, you give those that love you an opportunity to hold you.
Sure.
You know, the other thing I'd like to say is there's way more people that love you than not.
Yeah.
And the world tells us, we speak of enemies and this and
we need to have haters, bro.
and first of all, no one is that important to have as many enemies. First of all. Second of all, whoever you are, as you are, you are loved by many. In your respective corner, in your society, there are people waiting on the edge of their seat to support you.
Come on, bro.
You know? And should you need that support outside of that, there's us.
Sure.
There's this platform, there's you, there's me, there's I'm a DM away.
Yeah.
Within reason, not chancers that are trying to. But there's support, man. There's support. There's love. There's vulnerability will make your life so much more beautiful. Vulnerability accompanied by being humble. You know, bring yourself as yourself, not the idea of yourself. You know, leave that Gucci, whatever, is not who you are. You know, there's so much more beauty in who we are as we are.
Yeah.
And I can attest to it. You know, everything that has made my life so much more beautiful happened when I said, guys, I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know. My mentor, bro. My mentor became someone that changed my life because I was able to say, Van, I don't know how this works. Is there I don't know what's advertising.
Sure.
And he opened a whole world that changed my world.
Yeah.
So, I would say that mask only is only making it. It's taking your opportunities away from you. You know, and the guys that also, you know, without advocating for marriage and all of that, but I can speak for myself. Having a partner is the most beautiful thing that's happened to me. Women have a knowing.
Yeah.
Women have a knowing, bro.
Beyond us, man.
Like I said about the G63 and joking or whatever. But if I was alone, I wouldn't have been able to do the things I'm able to do for those I love.
Sure.
But I was able to say and listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say, man.
It's dope, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you too.
This was really...
to a new friendship.
Yeah, man.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
More conversations.
Yeah. Please,
we'll unpack more nuances.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here, man.
Thanks,
this
bro.
is special. This is
Thanks,
beautiful. Man. I think it's important for young men to see other young men tackle these problems. We are not coming here as people that are perfect. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
You are not perfect. You know, that's why I'm also speaking about my dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Because social media makes it look like, justice is killing it. I'm not killing it. I'm also flawed.
Sure.
So I appreciate this platform, man.
Thanks,
and as you said, I'll hold you to it. This is the first of many, and conversation and brotherhood.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Definitely, I've been blessed. You found value in this thing. There's a lot that we spoke about. And so we'd like to get to hear your thoughts, you know, and anything that we said. Further unpack it. Leave your comments. Let's chat. Let's engage. And again, we want to, you know, build each other. And as we think about husbands, we want to obviously chat about that, but that leads to families, that leads to society, that leads to how the country is, you know. So please, man, leave your comment. And if you haven't subscribed, do that and hit the notification bell. We drop every Wednesday at 11:30 right here on this channel. Right? From me, Black Newborn, That Husband Podcast, we are out. Right? Peace. If you already think your girlfriend is a car to test drive, what makes you think you're going to treat her differently when you marry her, bro? Right? She's just going to be a worn-out car that you're probably not going to take to service, and you're going to go buy a new one, right? Because she's a car, right? And she becomes an old model. So then you're gonna try and find a new model. You're gonna upgrade, right?
Yeah.